Same guy, different hat. Oh man, I've just been looking for suitable properties for me and my missus to move in. Either with, well, it's gonna have to be a housing association because I've been looking at these house prices and flat prices as well. I'm trying to get a mortgage on my own. My wage is alright. It's not like high end, but it's good enough to get a flat on my own. So I can get a small mortgage, but I'm just looking at these prices, and for the actual size and what I'm getting. Now I know the properties in the UK has just been going up and up and up, and the house prices are going up and up. But it's coming to a point where I'm deciding to not even buy here. And it might sound stupid to some people because I know obviously it's just a fact, like every 10 to 15 years the property prices just go up, and you're meant to just buy it and sit on it, like never sell your house until you plan to completely change your life or move away. But now I'm looking at these things, right, and I'm thinking, is it really worth it? Like, should I just go for a 50% mortgage with a housing association and put down 5% of that and have a more affordable mortgage? Yes, you're still paying service charges and ground rent, not ground rent, but like the additional rent which is subsidized to the housing association for that period of time of your mortgage. And obviously you can stair step. You can even buy 10%. I've seen some places where it's 10% and then you can go up to 25 and 50. But I don't really want to do that. I've just been looking at the housing market crisis in general, and looking at some numbers, and apparently it's getting better, but I know we're in the beginning of 2025. We can't judge it right now, but from 2024, I haven't seen any change besides of more houses are getting built, and there is a percentage of them being housing association houses, so HA, and they are actively raising the rent prices of those, so that and the government's encouraging them to do that so that they can build more, obviously, to make more housing, like social housing for people like me. But that doesn't really make sense, right, for the people who have already bought houses and are paying the remainder of their rent. And it doesn't make sense for the people who are renting from housing associations. I remember when I moved out of my flat, and I lived there for a year, and it was pretty achievable to pay the rent. But then next April came, I think it was April 2023, and then it went up about 125 quid. And I know it's not a lot of money, but for me, living alone singly and then running everything else and paying for my car and getting to work and feeding myself, it did hurt me, and I was really affected by it. And I was missing payments, I was missing rent. I'm still paying rent arrears from that place, and I was avoiding council tax because I just couldn't pay it sometimes. And I had letters come to my door here now at my mum's place. So a lot of things were happening to me, and I was at risk of losing my place or them kicking me out. But housing associations are a bit more friendly when it comes to that. It's just the council tax and stuff, and when it comes to court. So I had to come up with some kind of arrangement there. I remember it was really, really hard for me, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how people survive on their own. I can kind of understand and get it if you're living with your partner. It's manageable, but for a person who doesn't have that benefit, it's not attainable at all. So I looked at some things, right, and the number of social houses fell by 120,000 from 2012 to 2016. And now there's less. Well, at that point there was less than 4 million social HA properties available. And then it happened again for the next 4 years, from 2016 to 2020, right? So that was a 240k loss in that total period. So not enough homes are being built to replace the ones that are taken out of the pot, where people are having the right to buy, because after a period of time you get a discount, and obviously if you pay your mortgage and you pay a little bit more on top, you can stair step how much you own of the property. And then eventually, after maybe a decade, I think it's 7 years when you get the right to buy, you can buy the property. So that is one of the main issues. You know, there's not enough houses to go around for everyone, and the houses that are on HA are not actually available, or the rent is still getting increased to build more social housing. So it doesn't actually make sense. It's like a snake that eats itself, and it's just fucking with my mind. Like, how can I get round moving out of my family's house and having my own mortgage? Because do I really want to pay for rent continuously and stair step up to a point where I know I'm going to be on zero every time, and I won't even own the entire thing. I'll be owning 50%, and then maybe in 10, 15 years I'll own 100%. But that's an if. So I'm having trouble even finding the properties within like 30 miles of where I'm surrounded in my area. And another caveat as well is you sometimes have to have a connection in that area, either a mutual family member, or sometimes it can be a place of work. So whenever I apply or show my interest in some of these properties, they straight away say no to me, and I can't fathom it. I'm like, how am I meant to get somewhere that's within my region, or like 30-mile radius? Do I have to make a connection there, or like, that doesn't make sense, does it? They just want people who are local. I get that, but if there's nothing really being built in your immediate area, then you're stuck. You're literally stuck. Either that, or you have to rent somewhere close in that region right there, and then hope for that new build to be ready by the time you're ready to leave and have the deposit ready. That doesn't make sense. So I'm doing as many calculations in my head as possible to think, what way can I work around it? And that's not going to work. Why would I move to somewhere where it's not built to hope that I'll get chosen for this property? It's just stupid. And in 15 years ago, right, I saw this as well. This made me laugh. Okay, 15 years ago, they had almost triple the amount of social housing that were being built yearly compared to today. People, my mum was just coming in. See, this is the reality of living at home. It's fucking bullshit. But yeah, so apparently we are now having a third of what we used to have being built every single year. And in like 15 years ago, so this was 2010, we were getting 40k houses or flats built every single year, and that was enough to, I guess, keep it going. So it is going downhill, and you can see after 15 years it's gone down a lot. And now is the time that I'm actually going to be buying. It's not something I really want to do because the house prices are so high. Like, my capacity to get 100% mortgage is not there because it's almost 13-14 times my wage, and the mortgage, the property amount. Whereas before, I think when my mum was buying, it was about 4.5-5 times her wage. And when my grandfather was buying, I think his first property was in 1964, it was 2.5 times his wage. So no wonder they were going to the pub every single day and had enough money, and it was a single man on an average wage able to feed 5 kids and go to the pub every day and have nice cars. Like, the guy always had a BMW and an Audi, like a good like reasonable car. And I can't even drive around in a semi-decent car or being worried about it. And I'm living at home. and I'm in my late 20s, and you know, house prices are 13 times my salary. Like they literally want to milk the shit out of you, and you'll be paying. Say for example, if you buy like a £300,000 house, you'll be paying £500,000 at the end of your life if you pay it in 35 years, if not £600,000. Because interest rates, yeah, they're coming down slightly, but they also depend on your credit. And if you don't have decent credit, or if you've got semi-par credit, then I have bad news for you. It's not going to end so well. You're going to pay so much money if you don't pay it, pay more up front. So unless you come into some kind of situation where you increase your wage massively, which I think most people do throughout life, or you know, there are times when you and your partner are working a bit more harder and saving a bit more harder and putting more against the mortgage, then yeah, it can be done. But it's becoming increasingly harder, because I mean, even if you're not on the, if you're not moving back home like me, right, and you're a private renter, okay, last year more than half of the private renters, their rent got increased. And I wasn't even a private renter, I was a housing association renter, and I still felt that. And 40%, I think 37% exactly of renters in the UK are behind on rent or are struggling with paying rent arrears. So it just shows you that it is not more than 50%, but there is a massive majority of people. I mean, I know homelessness is growing in Scotland massively, and Ireland. Like it's rife. It's so bad there, but it's also coming like that here. And I'm seeing more and more homeless people in my own city than I've ever seen before. And like I think it's almost forcing people into poverty or into homelessness. Like if I wasn't able to come back home, then I would probably be homeless. That's just a matter of fact. That's what it would be like. So I'm just debating what to really do right now. Either me and my brother can go like halves on a property and just live with each other, because at least we're the same generation and he's my brother. And it'll be kind of good in a sense, because at least you're out of your parents' house and you're together and you can have a bit more space, rather than being cooped up in like a 1-bedroom flat that you just about pay for every single month. How can you move in to something like that? And why should we move into something like that when our parents didn't? Like, well, all of my aunties, when they moved out, they had 2 or 3 bedroom houses that they were on mortgage with just their husband, and then they were able to just have a child or two because there was a spare bedroom. I can't even do that. I would have to move out again. So and that's like another cost as well. It's just making it very, very painful, and it's almost like it's futile. Like there's no point in doing it. I don't think there is a point in really buying a property in the UK. But then again, I do look at the growth of the property prices. And once you're on the ladder, they say obviously you're on the ladder, but I don't think it's something that is very, very appealing to me, because it feels like a trap. It just feels like a chain, ball and chain. It's disheartened me a little bit. It ties into the last video that I made with the UK is dying. And this is just another thing that I personally recognised. Obviously I was looking on my computer at housing associations that I could possibly go with and do 50% ownership. And it's breaking my heart. I at least thought I could get a 2-bedroom house, but I can't even do that. I can't even start like my family or like have a little house to call my home. Fucking heartbreaking. So I just wanted to get it out, and I've obviously done a little bit of research. The only thing I can suggest is either you move in with a sibling, or if you are ready to invest with a loved one or a partner, then you could do that. But when money gets tight, it takes a strain on your relationship. It's why I primarily looked for something alone, because I know all the responsibility lies on me, and that's fine. So it doesn't strain anyone else in that aspect. But that is where you could do it. Another thing would be to just get out of the UK. Either get out of the UK, or you choose to do something where you live a life of just renting, and I don't think that's really sustainable either, because now rent is going to continue to go up, even though they put these laws in for against landlords, so that they can't, they have to make a more good quality standard of living, and they can't be ridiculous with raising the rent up. It still goes up, and it just shows you it still goes up because half of the private renters are still struggling, you know. So I can't really see a way out of this UK housing crisis. Homelessness is rife, crime is going up, even good neighbourhoods are not even good anymore. Houses aren't being built quick enough either. I don't want to sound too doom and gloom, but I literally look at the numbers and then I look at what I'm trying to do personally, and I've been looking at this for over 6 months. I've been looking at houses and flats to buy that I could potentially buy, and then it's just one obstacle after another. Like even something that I do find, I have to have a connection to the local area. What kind of bullshit thing is that I have to deal with now, on top of trying to finance this all? It's very, very tricky, and I'm starting to lose hope. So I might just stick to my guns of moving out and moving out of the country and not even buying anything, or just go chips in with my brother and see how it goes with that, and eventually sell my part to him or release the equity. But that is still a long game, and it will put quite a lot of strain on my salary. What can we do? If you're under 30 and you're looking to buy something, I know the average age of buying a house is about 32, but if you want to get on the ladder at 32, your mortgage payments are, your mortgage lasts for 30 years averagely, 35 if your credit is shit. Are you going to be working till 65, 70? Because I don't plan to really work till 70. That's a long time. 60 is okay. That's okay. But you kind of want your mortgage to be paid by then, right? And then you've got to have end of life care as well. So what you're going to do, release all the equity in the house to pay for that, and then all the generational wealth that you've built over time has just been lost, so your children will get fuck all at the end of your life, and all that hard work you spent in the Matrix for what? Like, these are the processes you have to think about. You have to play mental chess with the world, because unfortunately it's not really getting any easier. We don't have any great war or massive famine that we deal with in our generation, but it's our own kind of crisis, and it's getting to me, man. I'm trying my best, I really am. But anyway, yeah, I just had to get that out. This is the real struggle that I'm seeing of trying to find a property. It's not happening. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that, guys. I hope you have a good evening. Good night. I'll see you tomorrow.
Got me feeling like AJ at Wembley. I got a house in the sticks, I'm living stress free. God bless me, guide me, protect me.